No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food, like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey, everybody. We are making beef sticks.
In Casa de Hayden, welcome to the kitchen. Let's frickin' go.
Yeah, and we are gonna move fast. So really quick, everything we've got, I'm like already exhausted because Mike and I have been prepping for
We were just saying, this is a ridiculous amount of prep work.
almost 40 minutes. We've got a bunch of seasonings that we'll talk about in a minute. We've got a meat grinder here. So this meat grinder,
Yeah, we were just talking about this. I have a KitchenAid, and I've been looking at the KitchenAid meat grinder, and it's expensive, but John got this knockoff, and it works fine.
yeah, this is a, I don't even know how to say it. I think it's BQOY.
Oh.
No. Yeah,
I thought it said boy power.
That's what I thought too. Anyways, something from China for 35 bucks on Amazon. But we're gonna move quick. All of the parts have been sitting in the freezer because today keeping stuff cold is really important.
Gonna make life a lot easier.
Yep. And in the bowl here, I've got a pound of fat that we picked up. I went on a scenic tour of Cache County the other day for work. And while I did that, I drove past Thauer Fine Meats and stopped into the butcher shop and
Got hooked up.
yep, I got that. So have a scale here that we've been using to measure stuff out.
And there's some things that need to be relatively exact, but for the most part, it's kind of measure with your heart type of deal.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that. I want to get this, I'm going to fire up the grinder just because the fat's already starting to melt in my hands.
Yeah, we gotta get that ground. So we're gonna grind the fat first.
Yep, we've got a bowl to grind into. Maybe we're gonna grind it.
If you never ground before, it's an intense process. And John has had, I think he said this already, but he's had all the parts sitting in the freezer, so everything is cold and it stays cold because it's gonna heat up as it grinds.
Yep.
And this fat has been in the freezer as well, so it was frozen.
And we're already starting to get jammed up. So I'm gonna pull this out really fast. It's take a look and see why we're getting plugged up already.
Maybe our die's too fine. Do you have a smaller one?
No, that's our big die. I think we just don't have it broken up quite enough. So
need more to push it up in there.
Yep. So I'm gonna break up our fat a little bit more here. And this is one of the things when you're making sausage, trying to keep everything cold. I mean, this was so cold my hand was freezing to it 30 seconds ago when we were pulling it out, getting ready to film. Mm-hmm. And now it's already almost like room.
Bummer.
So we're gonna do a couple of things here. But Mike, while I fight this, why don't you tell everyone about the seasonings that we've got here?
All right, so here's what we're gonna use to season this. So we've got paprika, we've got cayenne pepper, we've got Himalayan pink salt, chipotle pepper, we've got crushed red pepper. We're going to use a little bit of the coping mechanism that we've talked about from meat therapy. Just some crushed red pepper, and then this is the actual important stuff, the curing salt. This is one of those things that has to be pretty specific. And we're using a recipe that we found. We'll probably put that in the description. But we've kind of made it our own as we've been going through it. We're kind of going for a spicy, hot type of jerky snack stick here. We're also going to throw some of this Cholula chipotle sauce in, which I have never heard of. Well, I mean, I've heard of it, but I gave it a sniff and I'm pretty excited about it. John says he puts it on steak, so.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Cholula.
Yeah. So it'll be good. We're gonna kind of combine this. We've got elk today, so we're gonna use 9 pounds of elk to 1 pound of beef fat. Elk is obviously very lean. The fat's gonna give us a little bit of flavor as well as kind of keep everything together. So.
All right, we're gonna try this again.
Let's frickin' go.
I hope we're gonna try this again. Maybe we're not gonna go. Hey Mike, would you, that top drawer right there, grab me a knife.
Knife, butter knife?
Butter knife.
Butter knife.
No need to get wild here. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the good news is, this fat for the most part is just falling apart.
That is good.
There goes our blade again. Guess I might as well just drop this whole thing out. This is what you get, guys. Authenticity.
Listen, we don't mess around, okay? I'll come over here. I know I'm not in the shop, but I just want to have a gander at what's happening here. So inside the meat grinder, we have an auger that pushes it into a blade.
Yep, here, I'll...
Love it.
Maybe we'll do it this way. All right, where's the auger?
Auger's there.
So here's the auger. I'm gonna load the auger in. Then we've got a blade. And then we've got a die.
And that is adjustable, right? You can get different sizes of that.
Yep, so this is
depending on if we need it thinner or not.
Yeah, this is a fine die. We may need, and maybe that's what you were saying before and I wasn't listening. Maybe we need to go up to a coarse one.
That's what I'm wondering.
We'll give it a shot. One more shot here. All right. Mike, you want to hit the go button there?
Oh, do I ever? Where do you put it on?
All the way up.
10? All right.
Shut it off. We made it.
We'll cut that part out.
No way. High speed, nothing else. All right. Well, we've got our fat ground up now. Mike, do you want to go grab the...
Yes, I do.
Did our camera just shut off on you?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, we'll make it work. So while Mike does that, I'm gonna... Whoo,
a little warm?
This auger is warm. So luckily, most of this fat, like I said, it was already just falling apart. So I'm not too worried about it, especially as we get the meat in here. How's our... All right, Mike. What I should have done, and I'm sure you're gonna want to do, is throw some gloves.
Glove up?
Yeah. So those are just right in front of you in the second drawer there. I'm just kind of scraping the last of what's left in here of the fat out. All right, Mike, why don't you walk everyone through what we've got here?
Okay.
And you can, we're gonna throw it all in one.
Start mixing.
Yeah, we're gonna throw it all in one big bowl. Make sure that we mix it so it gets really well incorporated.
Okay, so you saw this coming out. It kind of just looks like little, I mean, it's perfect. Little spaghetti of beef fat. I'm gonna throw in 9 pounds of ground elk. And this was ground using a coarse die, so it might be good once we mix everything to run it through again. I don't know, can you run like spices and stuff through your grinder?
We can. You want to do that?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering, if we want to
Let's see what it
mix
looks
it all up.
I think really it's going to come down to the consistency we want in the
snack stick.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it's breaking down pretty
I
good.
think we're going to be okay
we're going to be
without
fine.
it. So I'm just going to put the sausage stuffer on the.
And I think we talked about this on the podcast once. I tried this once on my drum. And drums are a little bit harder to cook at a super low temp. So it did not work out. So I'm excited to try this on the Traeger where we can keep it relatively consistently at a lower temp and hopefully cure it all up. And this elk looks beautiful. The color on it's really good. I think this is going to turn out great. It's cold though. What I wish I would have done is put some of those cotton liners on under my gloves, because I'm getting that cold, kind of achy feel.
Well, hey man, cold is good when you're making sausage.
That is true.
Which, this isn't necessarily a sausage, but it's pretty much sausage.
It's close enough. So I'm just kind of using my hands as kind of, I don't know, I'm going down in like this motion and trying to get all those this fat's kind of breaking down into little pebbles. And I'm just kind of trying to get it evenly throughout. And then I think we'll start seasoning and just kind of doing the same thing. John, if you want to throw in.
You're there. So I'm going to throw in the curing salt first.
Okay.
So, and this is Instacure. There's 2 types of pink curing salt.
You don't need very much of it. That's kind of surprising.
So it's, there's a Prague Powder 1 and a Prague Powder 2. The one is the quick stuff. The other is like what you'd use for like if you were making a corned beef or something. And I'm just throwing everything in here. Yeah, sorry, Mike.
So I didn't do a lot of research, but that pink curing salt did not look like very much. How do I know I've got it all incorporated when I'm mixing? Just keep mixing and
just keep mixing
send it?
and we'll send it.
Okay.
I mean, when you're doing long cures, like you're like making a brine and it lasts forever, and you have much less to worry about. Where the heck did, oh, there it is. I didn't realize I had thrown this over here. Let me.
Are you gonna put that high temp cheese in that you were talking about?
Oh, I forgot about that, Mike. I'm glad you said something.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was looking at this fat thing, and this kind of looks like that cheese, and I was like, oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
It smells pretty good, John.
Does it?
I mean, it's gonna be, I think it's gonna pack a little bit of heat, but it smells pretty decent.
All right, there's
Do you want to hit me with a little of that hot sauce too? I forgot about that.
Yep. Yeah. Give me just 1 second here. Mike asked if we were gonna like measure this out with a with a measuring spoon. And I said, hot sauce always gets measured with your heart. But if you're saying it's smelling hot, we won't go too crazy.
Oh, I don't know. It's not like stinging my nostrils, but it smells really good. Like, we were a little worried about some of all those peppers and stuff we were putting in based on this recipe, but man, I think, honestly, the amount of meat that's in here, I don't think it's going to be overpowering. I don't think it's going to be more than we can handle here, so.
All right. So, how do you feel like it's coming together, Mike? Is it sticking to you?
Yeah, I think it's doing really good. I think it's a good consistency.
All right, so here's my question. Do we want all of this to have cheese in it, or do we want to do like half of it with cheese and half of it without cheese?
I've never done the cheese. I'm fine either way. The cheese looks just like the fat. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just send it. Let's do it.
Okay.
I think, don't you think?
I think it'll
if you want to try it without, I'm fine if you want to cut it, but
I'm good. And this is 2.5 pounds. Super sanitary. I'm just gonna bite that thing like an animal.
well, I think that your mouth has bacteria that actually scares coronavirus away. So, what is this, John? High temp.
This is high temp pepper jack. So that's probably about a pound of cheese in there. And then I'm gonna give you just a splash of cold water.
Okay.
That'll kind of help emulsify everything.
That's probably a good call.
So, and then while Mike's finishing mixing, I wanted to show everyone this. I was at Walmart the other day on the fishing aisle. We always talk about this, like you don't have to spend a ton of money for a good thing. And they had a 6-inch fillet knife. I asked Mike what he thought this thing cost. And it's nothing special. It's an Ozark Trails knife. It's got a little sheath on it, but that's it. How much did you say you thought it was going to be?
I said 18, and I thought I was on the low end. Although I'm not a knife connoisseur, but
This is like a $4 knife. Get it, use it. If it goes dull, throw it away and go buy a new one.
exactly. Sharpen it up as many times as you need to, and when it gets annoying, throw it away and get another one.
Yep.
Was it on sale, or is that just
No.
how much it is?
Like it was just there on
Jeez.
the shelf, nothing
That's great.
special there. So, all right, I've got some collagen casings here. So, nice thing about collagen casings is you don't have to do anything to them. You don't have to soak them overnight. You don't have to do anything. But
Now, John, when you did that, did you leave the knife in there? And it's just gonna be the auger, it's gonna kind of cut it up a little more?
yeah, so there's a
Get it through our
different
tube?
I should have shown everyone. Let me see if I've got another one here. I don't think I do.
Dude, lean over this and give it a sniff. Like, the pepper, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really good.
That smells way good.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we're making burgers with
Yeah,
it.
seriously, dude. If this doesn't work out, we're gonna make some great burgers.
Yeah, it's not a grinding blade. There's just a straight edge that kind of helps break it up out of chunks.
Okay.
But there's a ton of casings here, so I'm gonna cut that off. I'd rather have to reload casings than get too much on here to start.
So do you think, and I probably should ask you this off camera, but if we were doing like teriyaki sticks or something, do you think you would marinate it and then run it through?
I think you could.
I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could. Oh no, is this too big of a, or am I gonna have to like actually, having trouble getting the casing on here.
But once you get a little bit on, it'll kind of slide on.
Well, I've actually never used collagen casing. I've always used like natural lamb casing.
Oh.
So this is a little bit of a learning experience that of course I'm doing on camera with everyone watching me.
Because why not?
Right?
Oh yeah. Oh no. Guess I'll keep mixing. I can't imagine you can over mix this. We're trying to get all that pink salt for the preservatives and also all the flavor obviously, but I'm just gonna kind of keep
You just
digging her in and trying to make sure that it's relatively well spread out. I'm excited for this cheese. I think that's gonna add kind of an interesting, do you think that, like we added beef fat, do you think the cheese adds a little bit of fat as well?
Oh, I'm
kind
sure
of the benefits of the fat mixed in there. I wonder if you could just do cheese and not add fat. I don't know why you would, but the more I look at it, the more the cheese literally looks just like the fat because of how we ground it up and how it kind of broke apart. So, anyway.
All right. I got the casing started here.
Nice. Now, how are we gonna separate them into sticks?
So, unlike when you're making sausage, the sticks you just cut.
Okay.
So we'll smoke them and then we'll cut them afterwards.
Okay. So will we smoke them in like a big ring or something, or what?
Yeah, so we can do them in rings, we can do it just like in an S pattern or something. I don't know if you're supposed to tie this. I'm doing this just like I would do natural casings.
Okay.
So I fed this on. I don't know if everyone was watching me or watching you. I got the casing onto the tube. We'll start pushing, and I put a little hole in here that is now a big hole.
What was the hole for?
It's to let the air out.
Okay, that makes sense, so that it's not a big balloon at the end.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tie that off again. Cut that. Just cut a tiny little hole. I think we're ready to do this, Mike.
Let's do it.
So why don't you
load? I've already got ickiness on my hands.
Yeah, throw some up there. I can hear it going, so keep it coming, Mike.
You want it in big chunks, or do you want little round thingies that'll go in there?
No, I think chunks are fine.
Okay, I'll just keep your thing there loaded. This is so much easier with two people. With one person trying to get it in there and keeping your supply, it's kind of a nightmare. Oh, there we go. We're doing it, John. It's happening. So excited. Now you can also do this using a jerky gun, right?
You can, and I bought one forgetting that I had this.
You're gonna lose your
Oh, I sure am.
tray there.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
this is going slower than I hoped it would.
Okay.
And I wonder, I'm trying to say, there's not a blade in there, but I almost wonder if we need a blade in there.
I don't know.
I don't either. Just seems like it's kind of struggling to get through. So we're gonna call an audible here. We're gonna shove the blade back in there. This will help push it. I mean, are you even making sausage if you don't have to take your
Grinder out a few times.
Yeah, take your grinder apart. Yeah, and I think the consistency, honestly, is going to be just fine.
Looks like it.
But I do think I need to turn that around.
I think this will be good too. I think this was a good call. Is it both gonna fit though, I guess?
Yeah, it should.
Real call.
We're just gonna have to... Okay, so that's back all the way.
There we go.
That up there, get this screwed on. And Mike, why don't we have you go around.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have you feed this, and I may even have you push on it.
Sounds good. I'll do this end and you do the other end?
Yeah. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I'll let you push on that.
How hard do I dare push? I don't want to break
I was
anything.
pushing hard enough to make my arm shake earlier.
Oh no.
Dang it.
Almost like got back pressure. It's like trying to pull the plate off, but not
I was gonna say,
push it through.
I'm learning too. I think I may have been putting too much pressure on the casing. So I'm letting it more free fill now. Should we try the jerky gun?
Yeah, maybe let's try that.
All right, let's shut it off.
Something's amiss here. I wonder if we're all jammed up in there or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll take this apart if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, pull your gloves and. We'll be back to you after a short break. All right, we're back, everybody. We made a pivot. Mike is loading the jerky gun here.
We're not sure what happened there, but it was getting ridiculous.
I am sure that it was user error on
Probably.
some level. So we've made a full pivot. The casing doesn't fit on the jerky gun. So we're just going without casing. And we're okay with that.
For now. Until we change our mind again.
Right? So this is basically going to work just like the caulking gun. Mike's laying down nice even beads. You can tell this guy has caulked a few bathrooms before.
You ain't a lying.
I'm excited for this.
I think it's going to be good. It smelled really good as I was giving it the beans in there.
So the best part about this is now Mike's taking over. I'm just going to stand here and look pretty.
As you should. That's all I was doing for the first half.
Actually, I'm going to do one thing more than that. I'm going to sip on my soda.
Do it.
Diet Mountain Dew, the official drink of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Of Rook. All right, let's head out to the grill.
Hi guys.
Welcome back. It was rough. Sorry.
That's okay. That's sometimes all you can do is laugh.
It was a rough afternoon, everybody.
Can everyone hear the dog crying in the other room? That's kind of how my soul feels. So we went to put the beef sticks out.
Oh.
The grill didn't light.
Yeah.
Had to fight through that.
We did. So maybe let's just run down all the issues we ran into.
I think we've decided that the Chinese knockoff meat grinder
That I was like touting in the beginning of the video.
Well, I've used it before to grind meat. Obviously, I've never had to grind fat on its own.
Sure.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Stuffing sausage with it was terrible. So we pivoted to the jerky gun.
Right, which actually worked really good.
The jerky gun was great.
We did not get a casing on it.
No, because the nozzle was too big for the casing that we had.
But I mean, the other nozzles, like, there's no way you could put a casing on those. So
Yeah.
we're hoping they hold together.
We think they're going to be fine. Oh, and let's not forget about the fact that we were going to do this a week ago.
Yes.
but we couldn't find fat.
We couldn't find fat anywhere.
So we did that. We ran out of space on the racks that we had.
We did. We had, what did we decide? A little bit more than half
Yeah, we did about 5
of
pounds.
what we were planning to do.
So we made burgers with the rest of it. And the snack sticks are cooking. Mm-hmm. And then they will be something.
And the burgers didn't suck. They're actually pretty good.
Well, you're not supposed to tell them we already ate burgers.
Oh. God.
We did eat burgers. These are merely props because we're both over it. We're exhausted.
We're both over it. We've been trying to like cheer each other up and give each other ideas, and we're both just kind of like, yeah.
And it's okay. Sometimes the cook just goes this way.
Yeah.
The good news is the burgers are fantastic, which gives me hope for the beef sticks.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll taste really good. Just the whole process was a bit of a show of manuric proportions.
yeah. So, which will be funny because we'll record a podcast this week.
Yeah.
Talk about.
Yeah, I think this is what we'll talk about.
We'll talk about these, and then this video will drop after that.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
So, if you want to know how this turns out, go to our last podcast episode. And until then,
We'll give it in full detail.
I'm John.
I'm Mike.
Yep. Bye now.
Wah, 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 wah.
Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.